We have now 3 stories in a matter of 2 days that have come out about public school employees here locally who are charged with or accused of engaging in some sort of child predatory behavior. So we want to talk about all of them. So first, again, we'll go back to this now former vice principal at Tops K through 12 in the Seattle Public School District. So a lot has happened with this, and a lot has come out since we talked about the story yesterday. It was just sort of breaking. His name is Alex Diaz-Rios. So if you recall, police were doing a sting specifically related to child sex trafficking. There were 7 people arrested, several of them charged with felonies, who basically showed up in their belief to have sex with a child, with a minor, and instead it was police, which I just love those stings. Oh my God, those police have to go home that day and be like, this is what I'm meant to be doing. Can you imagine a better feeling than as a police officer than arresting pedophiles? Like, show up and just like, nope, it's not a kid, it's me. Like, you're going to jail. So anyway, Alex Diaz-Rios, of the 7, he was charged with a misdemeanor for trying to solicit a prostitute. And we were trying to figure out yesterday, well, this was a child sex trafficking operation, so how did he get caught up in it? And why isn't his charge related to child sex trafficking? Well, we now know the detail that he was, Nicole spoke to the spokesperson with the Renton Police Department yesterday. We now know that Alex Diaz-Rios, who again was on the equity team at for Seattle Public Schools, was a vice principal for a K through 8 school. He had been, according to police, talking to an undercover officer that he believed to be a 15-year-old boy. He thought he was messaging with a 15-year-old boy and offered that 15-year-old boy money to perform oral sex on him. Disgusting. And thank God that 15-year-old boy was actually an undercover police officer. Now, the difference, we're told, in why the other men who were arrested in this sting were charged with felonies versus the misdemeanor is Alex Diaz-Rios didn't show up. He did not show up to actually carry out the plan he'd made with this undercover officer, 15-year-old boy, to give him money for oral sex. Thank God, again, that this was all part of a sting operation. And so apparently, and I was talking to Ari Hoffman, because Ari Hoffman was also, he broke this story. He was in touch with the police department too. And there is apparently like not an actual specific crime to like soliciting sex with a minor versus solicitation of prostitution. And so that's the charge right now, whether it's going to change or add or anything on that. I'm not sure. But another interesting claim. So the Seattle Public School District, they did send us an email back yesterday.
They
and
did.
We were kind of surprised. We were like, yeah, they must got a new PR person. Nicole said they're not sassy anymore. They sent us an email back saying that prior to the story coming out, there was an agreement to separate. And so he wasn't, as of the story coming out, a vice principal any longer. But they said that was the first they'd been made aware that there was a connection to child sex trafficking or potential abuse of a child, right? Well, Ari Hoffman just tweeted out that they're either lying or they're misinformed.
Well, so I asked about this as well. And Megan, who's the spokesperson for Renton PD, so she said that it was communicated to like a principal or a superintendent, like it was communicated to somebody via voice, I guess. Yeah. And then that didn't make its way down. So somebody left that out in the translation, but they have no way to prove what he was told.
Come on. Renton PD says they gave Tops K through 8 all the details on November 13th. All the details saying, hey, your vice principal was just arrested as part of a sting operation, and he was communicating with who he thought was a 15-year-old boy, saying he'll pay him for oral sex. Renton PD says they communicated that to the school. And then Seattle Public Schools told us yesterday they did not know until yesterday that there was a nexus with child exploitation, child abuse, etc. So who's telling the truth? Was it lost in translation? That seems like a pretty important thing to get lost in translation within the Seattle Public School District. So that story came out. We now know that, he didn't end up going, and so that saved him from a felony offense, but it was still had to do with solicitation of a child to have oral sex with a 15-year-old boy. Disgusting. After that story came out yesterday, they just kept coming. The Redmond Police Department put out this statement on X. On Tuesday, December 10th, Redmond detectives, along with the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, arrested a Northshore School District teacher for attempted rape of a child in the first degree. John E. Butts, 61 years old, of Snohomish, was arrested in Redmond during an online operation targeting people allegedly involved in the sexual abuse and exploitation of children. And they go on to say, and this is important, anyone who believes their child may have been a victim is asked to contact their local law enforcement agency. Yeah, if I had a child who was anywhere in the vicinity of this teacher, John Butts at Northshore, in the Northshore School District, I'd be having a conversation, obviously, with my child today. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. 61-year-old John Butts, Northshore School District teacher, attempted for rape of a child, arrested for attempted rape of a child in the first degree. As I said, they just kept coming yesterday. Perverts in our public schools. Ari Hoffman sent this out. New. Lake Stevens police arrested Julian Antonio Parker, assistant principal at Centennial Middle School in the Snohomish School District, for investigation of first-degree rape of a child. Bail was set at $50,000, and he was ordered to have no contact with minors. Yeah, you think? Julian Antonio Parker, assistant principal at Centennial Middle School in the Snohomish School District, has been arrested for investigation of first-degree rape of a child. Another one of those instances where, and I think what happened here, Ari had put out the information about this sting and this vice principal, assistant principal in the Seattle Public School District. And he noted that this happened, a month or so ago, more than a month ago. And, the media didn't know about it. Nobody found out about it. And then after he found out about that, these other things started coming out that had also happened recently, but weren't in the news. The one from Redmond of the North Shore School District teacher, he was just arrested on Tuesday. So that just happened. But in the case of this Centennial Middle School teacher, or assistant principal rather, in the Snohomish School District, he was originally booked on 11/6, so November 6th. So you have these things happening and we don't even know about it? The public doesn't even know about it? Was an email, here's what I want to know, was an email sent out to parents? And that's what we're going to ask all the school districts today, because I just thought of, what are they letting the parents know? Because if an email had been sent out to parents in any of these cases, we would know about it instantly. We would have had parents send it to us instantly. You would think, though, that a school district, if you've got an assistant principal or a teacher who's arrested for some sort of attempted child rape, solicitation of a child for immoral purposes, whatever it is, that instantly an email is going to go out to all parents letting them know about it, right? That seems like very base level, the right thing to do. So we'll be following up with all these school districts. What did you know? When did you know it? And did you communicate anything to parents about it? So like I said, 1, 2, 3, perverts, pedophiles in our public school system. Oh, and by the way, just to as an update, the trial is just beginning for a former Washington State high school coach who faces 20 counts in a child rape case. Yeah, Jacob Jackson, you probably remember that story. He was a basketball coach.
20 counts.
At Sumner High School. Been accused of using his position to commit sexual crimes against children. And after that story first came out, several other alleged victims came forward. So yeah, this is happening now too. So they're about to get underway, that trial. 20 counts of child rape. Perverts in our public schools. And you wonder why we are so concerned and we talk so much about some of the clearly grooming behavior happening in our public schools. About the innate sexual nature of some of the conversations around gender. Yeah, they couch it in, this is just about respecting gender identity. And they get into all these disgusting, the teacher in Olympia bringing a dildo to class and condoms from her personal collection. And you wonder why we're concerned about that. Like, why are we sexualizing things to this extent in schools? The sex ed lesson that they let Planned Parenthood come in and teach to fourth graders in the Olympia School District with all these pictures of vaginas and penises. And you wonder why we talk about that and people think, right-wing conservatives trying to convince you that, there's a bunch of pervs in our public schools. Do I think that the majority of teachers are great teachers? Yes. But we clearly have a problem here. 3 stories coming out in a matter of 2 days. And a teacher about to go on trial for 20 counts of child rape. Coach. Disgusting stuff. So yeah, we're not going to back off the public school system. We're not going to back off, and we do want to know, and we'll do that after the show today, to each of these districts, when did you know? What did you know? How did you communicate it to parents so they knew and they could protect their kids?